Welcome to The Pulse, where we delve deep into the issues and ideas that are shaping the future of education. I'm your host, Rick Surrency, Superintendent of the Putnam County School District, and each week we'll be talking to teachers, administrators, and other experts in the field about the latest trends, best practices, and most pressing concerns in education. Whether you're a teacher, a parent, or just someone who cares about education, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the pulse. Well, welcome to our podcast. This is Rick Surrency. I'm the superintendent of the Putnam County School District, and I'm very honored today to have an old friend, or a longtime friend, how about that, Danielle Brown. And Danielle is here representing the Lee Conlee House. And I know many of us who live in Pulatka and Putnam County have heard of the Lee Conlee House, but I want Danielle to talk about what the services that the Lee Conlee House does and some of the operations they do and how they serve our community and ways that you can help and be a part of that. So Danielle, welcome, and tell us your journey. I know you said you've been with the Lee Conlee House dating back to 2018, and of course I knew you from Pulatka High School back in the day, but it's sure good to see you, and I know your mom and grandma and just dear friends of mine. So, but
thank you.
Tell us about, for those people who may not be familiar with the Lee Conlee House, what does it do, and who does it serve?
First of all, thank you for having us.
Sure.
We appreciate it. Lee Conlee House is Putnam County's only certified domestic violence center. Mm-hmm. We provide domestic violence services to men, women, and children who've been abused by their intimate partner. Services are free and confidential, and we have a wide variety of services. The most popular is our 24-hour domestic violence emergency shelter, where you can call our hotline at 386-325-3141.
And we'll have that on the screen. Yep.
And we also offer outreach services. Outreach services include court advocacy, outreach services as far as counseling, free counseling for adults and youth. Part of the youth counseling is through the school districts. I actually go into the schools and do a 12-week prevention curriculum that focuses on those things that kind of help you not become a perpetrator or a survivor.
Now that's with the high schools.
Yes, so I do go in the high school, and I also do 2 groups at James A. Long.
That's great.
So, yes, we also have what we call economic empowerment services to kind of help those survivors move forward to a violence-free lifestyle. We have what we call a CPI advocate, which is a child welfare advocate who's hosted at Department of Children and Families, who kind of work alongside our survivor to make sure that she's not held accountable for the actions of the abuser. So we have a wide variety of services. And there are some services that I haven't quite mentioned, but if you're interested in any of those services, you're welcome to reach out to us through the hotline or through our administrative office, which that number is 386-325-4447.
And the Lee Conlee House is actually located right here in Pulatka.
Yes, so our location is confidential for security purposes, but we are hidden in plain sight, so the ladies have a good opportunity to start over with a new life.
Very good.
Everything's in reaching distance.
And we can't normalize violence. I mean, nobody should have to deal with violence, especially in the home where
Absolutely.
You should feel safe. And we want people to feel like, and I'm just talking generally here, whether you're a man, a woman, or a child, that it's okay to seek help, because
Absolutely.
nobody should have to endure that.
Absolutely.
And sometimes in our family environments, sometimes we don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a common misconception that we reach out to law enforcement every time we're contacted. That's not true. Our services are confidential, so we cannot speak to anyone without the survivor's consent. So if that person doesn't want law enforcement involved, they definitely don't have to, and we'll navigate their journey without law enforcement involved.
How long has the Lee Conlee House been in service?
Okay, so Lee Conlee House started in 1998, so we've been around for quite a while. We started off as Helping Hands, and we now are Lee Conlee House.
And Lee Conlee himself, can you give us a little background on who Lee Conlee was?
Yes, so he was a commissioner that felt like that women needed help. And he started off with a very small little 4-bedroom house, and it has grown significantly, where we serve a minimum of 300 participants a year.
Wow, that is truly amazing, and the fact that that many people in the community need help. I mean, in a way, it's encouraging that they are getting help, but also it's discouraging that that many people have to endure that. So thank you for the service that you provide. And, you know, I think a lot of the people that watch your show are also students.
Absolutely.
Right. And we want you to be able to, you know, if you have a situation where you need help, at least call that number and they can guide you and assist you. And it's not like you're ever doing anything wrong. You're just trying to live a peaceful life. And we want you to do that.
There is nothing that you can do to make someone harm you. Someone makes a choice to harm you, and domestic violence doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter your social status or your economic background, how old you are, it does not discriminate. I'm actually the advocate who deals with the youth, and I deal with a number of youth through outreach counseling that have dealt with dating issues. A lot of times when minors go through situations, they consider it puppy love. But the law doesn't see it that way.
Right.
Relationships are relationships, and teen dating violence injunctions can be filed just like domestic violence injunctions can be filed.
Well, I'm glad you said that because that's probably some things that that's probably unique to youth as well as adults, but that's just something our youth need to be aware of. You know, this doesn't happen without the financial support. And if you could talk to us about how the funding works, and I want us to get into how people can help too. So.
Absolutely. So we're mostly funded by the government. We fall under the umbrella of FLDVC, which is the Florida Domestic Violence Coalition. So we do receive a lot of government funding, but half of that funding comes from the community. Community support, donations, whether that's financial or physical donations as far as clothing or anything you would use for your own household. We also have a thrift store at 926 St. John's Avenue, and all the funding from that thrift store goes into making sure that our 24-hour shelter runs.
And we'll make that available on the screen as well. And it's a good place you can either come and donate or you can come and actually purchase there.
That's a 2-for-1. You can do spring cleaning or winter cleaning and bring all that stuff, and it contributes, or you can go shop, and either way,
I'm going to remind my wife about it because I've got some clothes in my closet I'll probably have there since I was in high school myself. So
absolutely. And if you have professional clothing, we actually have a career closet directly at the shelter. Those donations are accepted directly at the shelter, and the women go and get career clothes for free for interviews.
Oh, that's great. That's great to give them an opportunity to maybe, you know, change careers or get a career that otherwise they may not have. So
absolutely.
That's a great service. So tell me, what's some advice that you might give to people that might be experiencing violence, and that's a very loaded question, but what are some things, if they're really unsure of what to do, what's the first step they do if they need some help?
The main thing we let everybody know is that help is free and confidential. It's always available. No one will know you've reached out to us. No one will know that you come behind those gates or call that hotline. And then also we want you to know you're not alone. There's nothing you have done to deserve that kind of treatment. It's all considered power of control. Somebody wants power and control over you, so there's nothing you could have said differently, nothing you could have done differently. Someone makes a choice to harm you. And because of that, 24/7 we're available. And not just in this county, there is 24/7 help in every single county. So just don't be afraid to reach out.
I'm glad, and I meant to ask you this, how widespread. So the government actually helps by allowing this or providing this in every single county.
Absolutely.
So if you move and, just look for the local, it might be called something different in another county.
So every state has a statewide hotline, and there's also a national hotline.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you personally for being here and really providing that service for our community, but especially our youth. And you mentioned dating violence. I'm sure, especially in high school, that's a phenomenon that, many of our young people, even males, might experience that.
Absolutely.
And we want them to know they have an opportunity to be, to be safe and helpful. And we want to provide that service for you. So
absolutely.
I want to thank you for being here. And it's so good to see you after all these years.
Good to see you.
I know
too.
we've passed different places.
Absolutely.
But, and thank you again for being on and watching our podcast. Have a great day.